In this video, I will wrap everything up and conclude why I think the media, the judicial system, and all these other entities, the powers that be, went so hard after Bill Cosby. If you look at the optics of this, to me, and this is just an opinion, I could be wrong, it looks like it was orchestrated. It looks like it was a trap. Think about the mouse trap. You have the peanut butter on the trap. When the mouse goes towards the peanut butter thinking it's going to get a snack, snap, and the mouse is stuck. That's what I think happened to Cosby, metaphorically speaking. As I was doing some research on Cosby's life, I found out that Cosby was on a enemies list made by President Nixon in 1971. Cosby was attempting to buy NBC, which gave him the wrath of the elites. Cosby was attempting to empower Black America by telling them to stop blaming whites and create their own enterprises by using him as a living example. Another reason is because there is an attempt by the powers that be to get rid of the nuclear family. Even though, according to every metric, if you have two parents in the home, you are more likely to go to college, less likely to commit crimes, and so on and so forth. Most people in prison were raised by single mothers. Now, I'm not trying to knock single mothers. It's just that when you don't have a father in the home, it makes you less likely, it makes the probability lower that you're going to be successful as an individual. Since the goal of the elites are to enslave us, they know that attacking the nuclear family is the way to go. If you ever watch The Cosby Show, Bill Cosby is the man. When he tells them to do something, they do it. His wife respects him. I mean, yeah, she pokes fun at him, but it's never emasculating. If you watch these shows now, the dad's always dumb, the dad's always stupid, the kids disrespect the father, and that entire dynamic where the father's supposed to be respected is just thrown out the window. Bill Cosby also talked about how African Americans should go to college, should get a job, should stop blaming other people for their problems. Now we have this victim mentality where, because a long time ago we had all, they always go back to a long time ago, because we had Jim Crow, because we had segregation, it's still affecting people today. They don't want African Americans to be empowered. That's why they go after anybody who goes away from that narrative, like Candace Owens, like Ben Carson, Thomas Sowell, Bill Cosby, anyone who isn't part of the victim mentality, they go after. It's all about increasing the power over the government over your life and taking your own decisions out of your hands. You see, these people are very intelligent. They know that most of your perceptions of the world are formed by the media. If you have positive portrayals of African Americans and father figures in the home, it changes that dynamic. And the thing about Bill Cosby I always really liked is that he was pro-black without being anti-white. Nowadays, pro-black is basically blame white people for everything, for all your problems. But when Bill Cosby was empowering African American culture on his show, he would play jazz music. His daughter went to Spelman, a historically black college. It was about empowering your own communities. That's why I think, despite his faults, Bill Cosby was a transformative figure and did a lot of good for the African American community. It's a shame that he is being tarnished at such an old age. But here's why I think this was a trap. I think this was orchestrated based upon the optics. Number one, get rid of the support for Cosby. In the very beginning, Felicia Ahmad Rashad said that she didn't believe it. Well, guess what? She was silenced. Malcolm Jabal Warner was on a show. I was curious what these people had to say about it. He was silenced. And when you subconsciously prime the public to be against Bill Cosby by showing these crying women and some old dude with shitty lighting, and the lighting does work. If you notice, every time they show Trump or his wife or something, they always put them in shitty lighting and take the worst picture possible to subconsciously prime you to be against them. Look this up if you don't believe me. This is Media 101. But to prime you and to prime others of not supporting him. One of the women on the show, I forget her name, Keisha Knight Pulliam is her name, the girl that played Rudy, she actually supported Bill Cosby. She actually went to court with him multiple times, but she was publicly shamed. Whoopi Goldberg, give her credit, although I disagree with her, she was publicly shamed for saying she thought Cosby was innocent. Then you have Hannibal Buress, a comedian who wasn't really famous at the time, who went viral. How does someone who isn't famous have one video accusing Cosby of rape go viral? Like I said, to me, this was more orchestrated from the top down. Rape memes were made and came from unknown sources. Bill Cosby one day said, make memes of me for some purpose. I can't remember. This was a while back. And there were a bunch of memes that popped up of him being a rapist or alluding to the fact that Bill Cosby is a rapist. And these came from burner accounts. These came from bots. These came from unknown sources from the top. Then you had Bauman, the girl who accused Cosby, but she saw him afterwards and before that of rape. And you had Constance come forward on prime TV shows accusing Cosby. Then you got the talk shows. Even before he had a day in court, you had Fox, CNN, all of these shitty daytime talk shows that I don't watch, like Dr. Phil and Oprah, automatically going after Cosby. And that stupid moron Wendy Williams, who is so concerned about everybody else's life. Then they canceled his shows and banned him from his TV appearances, all without a day in court. That's why, in my opinion, this whole case was orchestrated. As I stated in my introduction video, if you can cancel somebody, if you can get rid of their honorary degrees, all without a day in court, who is that rich, that famous, that renowned, that well-known, then imagine what they can do to you or me. If you can ignore the marital privilege law, if you can wiretap somebody, if you can use a deposition, if you can unseal records based upon that. That means in the future, if somebody makes statements about politics, who is an actor, athlete, entertainer, then I guess you can say, okay, we're going to unseal those records because you made a statement about that. This is dangerous. This is a very dangerous president. And the people, here's the worst part about it, the people who just blindly believe it. Like if you tell somebody you think Bill Cosby should not be in jail, they literally think you're scum, even though they themselves have not done the due diligence of research. If you can do research and you can prove to me beyond a shadow of a doubt, I am willing to listen. But you can't just say, oh, look at all these women. And then when I say which woman, you don't know any of these specific women. I name multiple ones. And then you say, but, one of them has to be telling the truth. Which one is it? You see, it's whack-a-mole. Each time you knock one down, another one pops up. And that's what I heard a lot of these stupid broads saying on daytime talk shows. I don't normally watch this stuff, but I was genuinely curious to see, for research purposes, what they were saying. And they were saying to the extent of, not all these women are lying. A lot of these women, they had cognitive dissidence because they slept with Bill Cosby and came back. Their excuse was, yeah, the women slept with Bill Cosby and came back. But that's because they were brainwashed. Now, if you're going to use that avenue, if you're going to use that logic, then I guess you're saying women are not equal to men. All these strong feminists, I guess you're saying that if a woman chooses to go to a married man's home against her will, sleep with him multiple times, it's not the woman's fault. She is incapable. She is traumatized. And you're saying that she has no control over her decisions. But yet you want equality. These cafeteria feminists.